Bishop right now. He is the former aide to Senator Lindsey Graham. Mr. Bishop, your thoughts?
I was sitting here just watching it on Saturday afternoon, doing some, just cleaning around the house and watching it on TV, and then we see that it happened. This is shocking. I've been very fortunate through the years. I've gotten to be at many events with President Trump where he's at there, and to see the level of security at these, it's shocking that this happened. And I don't want to take any unfair criticism of the Secret Service. I just know from my own experience. I was at an event in North Charleston, South Carolina, and I've been with Lindsey Graham for 27 years. And President Trump was going to come walking through a hallway, and Senator Graham, I'd already been through the magnetometers. I'd been through 2 or 3 of them, and I'd been around various things. And the Secret Service even kicked me out. They didn't want me in the hallway with Lindsey Graham waiting for President Trump to walk by. So the security at these events usually is incredibly tight. But the first thing is, I'm just so glad President Trump is okay and he's going to be okay. That's where our thoughts are today. But it is just shocking, very, very shocking to see this.
And will you talk about, in your experience, being so close to, as you described, these incredible security details, the preparations that go into preparing for these worst case scenarios, and what the conversations are like? Is this something that candidates and political officials are prepared for? And is this something that is just the unfortunate reality of America today and American politics today?
Well, I hate to say it, the president deals at a different level of security than a member of Congress or a senator. We've had the Gabby Gifford shooting in Arizona. I think that woke up a lot of people, that members of Congress are sometimes really in difficult situations. And when she was shot, you also have to remember we've had Steve Scalise was shot at baseball practice before the congressional baseball game. And now you see this with President Trump. So it is something that's on people's minds, and there's always that balance. Now, the president deals at a much different level with the Secret Service, and I know just from my own experience, when the president, anytime we've ever done an event with the president where he's coming into town, they go to incredible security arrangements. Members of Congress don't have near that level of security around them at all times, nor should they. But it's just shocking, truly shocking to see this. And it does seem like the elements of political violence, unfortunately, it's been a part of American history going back to Robert F. Kennedy, and then we had the governor of Alabama. And so it's been part of American history, and of course Lincoln and throughout history. But it does seem like that the pace is picking up, and it's a real concern. I'm just so glad to see President Trump is okay, though. But I'm sure they're going to figure out who did this, and that person will be held to account. And the one thing that I did notice when it happened, I think everybody thinks, is this political violence? It very well could be. But the second thought that came to my mind, is it terrorism? It's always a possibility. Mm-hmm. And then the third thought that came to my mind, or is this just somebody like in the Hinckley shooting back in the Reagan's days? This was John Hinckley was trying to impress a movie star. So, so we'll see the motive, but I hope it's not political violence. I do say that, and I just Kevin, that's not good for the country.
When John Hinckley tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan, there were roughly 130 million firearms in this country at that time. There are now well over 380 million firearms in circulation in this country, more guns than there are people. Is it now, based on the level of rhetoric that is coming out of political campaigns and other groups that are opposed on one side or the other, is it now becoming impossible to protect the candidate in an open-air rally like the former president is known for?
Well, I'll let the security professionals deal with that. After the Kennedy assassination, they don't usually ride in open carriage cars after that happened in Dallas. But I don't think I think President Trump, I think you're going to see him. We'll see. But I would be really surprised if he wants to stop doing political rallies. That's been his.
It's not a question as to whether or not what he wants to do. That is his calling card, no doubt about it. The question is, from the Secret Service standpoint, is it safe? One of the differences between what happened.
I would just tell you, from the Secret Service, I would imagine from their point of view, they would wrap the president in bubble wrap if they could. But I think the modern political, whether you're running for president,
Kevin, hold on a second.
Congress, running for Senate, you've got to be.
Wait a minute, Kevin, hold on a second, because we just found out some information from our control room. I want to make sure we get it right before we broadcast it. Shooter dead. Rally attendee also killed.
That is, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that is breaking news from the Associated Press right now. We are hearing that the shooter is down and a rally attendee also dead at this point. Former President Donald Trump did share via social media that he is fine, but a horrific, horrific outcome. We were just learning from the Associated Press seconds ago.
And that would explain one of the major mysteries that was coming out early on, which was people were looking at the angle of the shot and the fact that the former president clutched his right ear, and there were so many people behind him. What happened to the bullet and why wasn't anyone else struck? It now appears that that may not have been the case. If the Associated Press is correct, the shooter is down. And we heard that on that audio tape. That's what I was telling you about just moments ago. You can hear on the audio tape clearly, shooter down. Whether he was engaged by Secret Service or the TAC team, we don't know. And also, now we're understanding that there may have been a member of the audience killed as well. Kevin, your thoughts?
That's absolutely heartbreaking to hear that someone who attended a political rally was killed. I think if you look, to go back to Gabby Gifford's situation, if I'm not mistaken and my memory is right, I think there was actually a federal judge was killed,
right,
who just happened to be in the line of fire when she was shot in Arizona, and she was out meeting with constituents. That's actually what she was doing that day. She was having basically just a meet and greet with constituents where they could come up and talk to her and tell her what was on their mind. And that's the heart of representative democracy. That's what our country is founded upon. And then for her to be shot in this situation, and then for President Trump to be out talking to his supporters and to be shot, and it's here a rally attendee was killed. That's just horrible. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. I don't have the words.
And we're getting this